What's going on, everybody? Just wanted to talk to you guys today about something that I'm noticing a lot in the faith. Well, honestly, it's believers and people who don't necessarily believe, but this is, tailored to the faith. One of the things that I'm seeing a lot is burnout. Everyone around me seems to be experiencing some sort of burnout, myself included. I remember probably a month or so ago, I was telling my wife that for some reason I was getting sleep, the 7-8 hour window that they say that you should be getting for sleep. And she told me that that sounds like a spiritual burnout. And I can probably see that that is the case for myself and for a lot of people. I think it has a lot to do with our culture. Our culture tells us to go get it, grind, 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 be a go-getter, get to the bag, whatever the cliches or the expressions are, however you want to say it. But a lot of it has to do with our culture. On top of the fact that we already work really hard as it is. A lot of us have 9-to-5 jobs. A lot of us have kids, families, responsibilities, obligations, and that makes it harder. It also makes it harder to pinpoint, but I think that when you're getting enough sleep and you still feel exhausted, there's something else there. And the only thing that I can come up with, and that seems to make a lot of sense, is spiritual burnout. So what do we do with this information? Well, I think the first thing that we have to do is recognize that you have to be intentional with your rest. Laying down in bed or laying on the couch might work for some, but for others of us, that doesn't always work, and probably doesn't work as much as we would like it to or we think it to, because we're told that take a day off, rest, whatever the case may be. But I think it has to be intentional. You have to remember that God in his almighty power, he can do literally anything, everything that he wants to. He's still rested. And there's an importance to that. It's not that God couldn't have continued if he wanted to, because he's the Almighty. There are no limits to his power. But I think the lesson in that is you have to be intentional with your rest. You have to be. And what does that look like? Well, it could be different for different people. I know for me it's, reading the Bible when I need that input, when I need that source, that power, that strength. I know that helps. I also know in a more social sense that you have to be okay and unashamed, and you have to go about it the right way, but you have to be unashamed to tell people I need a break from communicating, from talking, whatever that may look like, because it takes a lot of work to have conversations with people all day long. Also, scrolling, all the input of information that you get every post, like it is an infinite feed of posts, and it's just information. And we may think that that's harmless, but it's not really pouring into you like you think it is. Some posts have that effect, but probably 9 out of 10 of those posts are not really feeding your spirit, not really feeding your mind. So you have to learn to just really be intentional about what you're consuming, taking time to focus on just the essentials, not worrying about the non-essentials, whatever that may be. That varies from person to person. And just find days or however much time that you need to just gather yourself and recharge yourself, recharge your mind, recharge your spirit. One of the things that I'm learning is that it's hard to be effective for God if you're experiencing burnout. It doesn't really produce that much fruit. And God wants us to be fruitful. So with that being said, there's a difference between doing and being effective. And I think being effective, excuse me, I think being effective is way more important than just doing or being busy. Being a busybody, it doesn't really benefit you in the long term. So if you're experiencing some type of burnout, you can't really pinpoint what it is. It could be different things, but if you're getting enough sleep and you're taking care of the things that they've told you should take care of, and you still feel burnt out, it's probably spiritual and mental. So figure out whatever that formula is for yourself. Again, it's going to vary from person to person, and it's going to take some trial and error. Figure out the equation that you have to have so that you can recharge, feel poured into. That way you can go out into the world and be effective for yourself and for others, because ultimately it's about other people, and you want to be effective, you want to be intentional, purposeful, and you want to be able to help people, and it's hard to do that when you're drained. So take time, consider the things that you're doing on a day-to-day basis, ask God for strength and the endurance to continue to steward over the things that He's made you responsible for. And again, don't feel ashamed that you have to take some time off. Let people know you're going on a break for a little bit, and just continue to find the things that you need to do, pour into yourself. Obviously not in a selfish way, but to pour into yourself. That way you can go out into the world and be a effective believer for the community, for yourself, for the people around you, because that's what it's about. So I hope this message was encouraging. It was encouraging for me, kind of a learning moment. I'm still trying to figure it out, but just go out there. Like I always say, do your best, but also do your best for yourself. And God bless you guys, and I hope you guys have a restful day and a fruitful life. Okay? See you guys later.